Buddy, how's everybody doing? So, it's been kind of a tough week for our family. Um, as my dad passed away on Monday, he lived a good life. He was 89. And so, as tribute to him and our family, I thought I would make this little tribute video. I'm going to improve on it as time goes on. But in the spirit of things, we always used to try and get the most out of things whenever possible free, right? Like we'd have the phone set up in the house, only one phone line. Try making that work out with a sister. um, and yeah, no chance of that in the second line. And when you're a teenager's trying to get away with stuff, good luck, because dad can always pick up the phone. What are you doing? So, at any rate, we also had the signal with like Uncle Ron, and to save on long distance charges because they were in the stratosphere back then, about 5 cents a minute. They had the ham radio set up, so they do what was called a one ringer, and so if the phone rang one time, Dad knew it was Uncle Ron, and there'd be this mad dash down the stairs to his ham radio shack. Um, and it was fun going down there into the ham shack, and especially when Dad wasn't around, we were up to mischief. He's like, "You must have been playing around with the shack. How did you know?" Well, like the antenna's like, we got a 120-foot antenna, and it's like pointed at Mars or something. I know nothing. I admit to nothing. But I really miss you already, Dad. And so here's his spirit. It's going to be a miracle if I get this to work because I've been trying to do it on this, what is it called? They ought to just call it flexi crap, flex clip. So, of course, I understand they want to make us pay, but if I pull this off, it's going to be a miracle, okay? And believe me, it's been an exercise in torture now trying to get this video to work without it erasing sections, even when I downloaded the export free feature. So here we go. I'll give kind of a brief explanation of what these photos are. So rest in peace, Dad. We love you. So I put the plane in. Captain for United Airlines flying DC-10s. There he is on the left. Experimental planes at the time. They just strapped a jet engine onto the plane and took off. Here's from a fishing trip in Banfield, BC. We'd go up there with Eddie and friends. My mom and dad, I think it was on last. They set the record for wedding anniversaries. I think 65. He's also on this United Pilots Association plaque in Washington, D.C. And it took me a while to get the arrow to figure out with all the names there. And of course, they let me sneak into the cockpit or check ride on his last flight, Hawaii. And Mom will really love to know that they have these motorcycles in heaven. And if you've heard all the ruckus in the clouds and, tornadoes, my theory is Dad and Uncle John are tearing around on like these motorcycle chariots up there, creating havoc. And you don't see Uncle John in this photo because he's crashed into something. And I'm fairly sure they're riding with Evil Knievel up there. And Oma's probably trying to bribe the angels. Don't let the voice stay. Have some raw cooking and biscuits. Eat, eat. And so let's see. I've got some videos. Okay. So we turned the. If I hope this all turns out, we turned the washing machine museum here outside of Fort Collins. And so I've got Dad and Uncle Ron and Uncle John and Mike went with us. And so this is kind of like a guy's heaven, like old crap, like a warehouse full. So let's see if we can get some volume.
Oh, do you hear that, Mike? Sailors had to do their own laundry.
Sailors had to do their own laundry back in the day. So that's
Looks like this.
yeah. So that was the first washing machine. Is that wooden board apparently? Um, now here's Dad showing that this was the last thing they had to test before they retired, and I'm glad. Once you see this video, you'll understand why. Just kidding. He was one hell of a pilot.
Finally, a washing machine for Dad.
You can see Mike helping out there.
Yeah, you got to go back now.
There's a lock on it or something.
It's like the current washing machine Mom's been dealing with. I think they finally upgraded. Yeah, he'd figure out anything, how to fix it. He was the greatest MacGyver of all time. Well, him and Uncle Ron and Uncle John, the trivia champs for sure. And then I'll have one more video here. We missed Dad and Uncle John, and thankfully, Uncle Ron's still around. So here's Uncle John at the washing machine museum. And this is the ultimate. I mean, for him as a former Maytag salesman, and owning Wagner appliances with my cousin Bart, he's running down. It's a washing machine. Here's one where you can have your dog run on a treadmill, which a lot of people would probably be like, heck. So if all hell breaks loose and Armageddon happens, we can always go for the doggy treadmill washing machine. And let's see. I hope that recorded. Rest in peace, Dad, and I hope that made everybody have a smile. He's in a better place.